Auspicious greetings to all my friends. Welcome to the Sunday check-in session, a half hour of Dharma reflection and community connections. I'm Xiaomeng, and I have been a member of this community since 2020. If you're a new member, please accept our wholehearted welcome. If you have any questions about our practices and topics, we're all here to help. If you're a regular, well, welcome back. It is customary in Australia to begin any meetings by acknowledging the traditional owners of our land. So in the spirit of reconciliation, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we work, study, and reside, the Bodhi people of the Dharma Nation, and pay my respect to the elders past, present, and emerging. I also pay my respect to the traditional custodians on the various lands on which you all are. The check-in sessions have been developed by our communities of practice team and the entire community. These sessions aim to develop a reflective practice in response to changes. Guided by humanistic Buddhism, we'd like to cultivate our practices and build memorable friendships. So for the June sessions, we are delighted to have Venerable Miao Guang back to share the Bodhi Light Tales, enjoying selected short stories on mindfulness and wisdom, and explore deeper meaning together. Last week, we did poop, discussing how to maintain chill and serenity even in the uncomfortable situations. Today, Venerable Miao Guang will bring us a profound and thought-provoking story titled Sandalwood. So let's welcome Venerable Miao Guang.
Thank you very much, Xiaomeng. And good morning, Venerables and Bodhisattvas. I'm very happy to see you again this week. I hope your week has been a fruitful one. And to begin today's community of practice, let's start with a few minutes of guided meditation. And so if you have been with us in the previous 3 sessions, we've been following the method of the 4 ways of establishing mindfulness, where we enable the mind to land on the body only as a target of focus to practice bare attention. The attention of realizing and becoming aware of everything without tagging or labeling any sensations or perceptions. So this week, we will go into the practice on focusing on the presence of bones. Now, kindly make sure that you're comfortably seated in your chair with your spine straightened in a relaxed way without straining any muscles. And make sure the soles of your feet are touching the ground. Your arms are hanging naturally off your shoulders with your hands on your thighs. Tucking your chin. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in and out. Breathe in. Out. Now, just as my body is settled on this chair, when my mind settles on this body, which will serve as a guide for me to remain open and maintain bare attention, realizing the presence of different parts of my body with the focus on the presence of bones today, starting from the head all the way down to our toe. Now, as I sit here, I'm aware of the presence under the skin and flesh of my body. There are bones around my head. Across my eyebrows, through my nose, my teeth, and my chin. Bones. Through the back of my neck to the top of my shoulders. Bones. my left shoulder, upper arm, and forearm, through to my left hand. Bones. My right shoulder, right upper arm, right forearm, and my right hand. Bones. As I do this, I'm aware of the fact that it's as if I am a farmer walking across the field with a bag of seeds that has a hole in it. Once the seeds fall onto the ground, that's it. It's left behind me, and I'm going to keep moving forward. These seeds represent my thoughts. Naturally, they will arise, so there's no need to resist them. Just watch them as they come and go, while we establish our mindfulness on the basis of the presence of our body, especially the presence of bones. Now to the top of my torso, the upper part of my back spine, bones. My waist, bones. My pelvis, bones. As I'm aware of the presence of my bones, I understand that these are accumulations of conditions that makes them what they are. When conditions present themselves together, they are bones. But once the conditions disperse, they are no longer. I'm simply sitting here, becoming aware of the presence of such accumulation of conditions. Nothing else. My left thigh, my left shin, my left foot, bones. My right thigh, my right shin, and my right foot, bones. As I sit here, becoming fully aware of the presence of bones in the parts of my body, again, I understand that just as everything outside of my body in this world, they are all mere accumulations of conditions. As they are present, I'm on equal terms with every single form of existence, that we are interdependent, we're transient, but at this moment we are present. Like a farmer walking around the field with a bag of seeds that has a hole in it. I shall watch the thoughts come and go as I learn to gain my attention and base my mindfulness on the presence of my body. Through this, I remain connected with the rest of this world, understanding that they exist in the exact same way as I do. And by this, I establish a sense of equality and kindness towards everything that is interconnected with me. And to end the short practice of mindfulness, take 3 deep breaths in, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, out. In, out. before you open your eyes, we've gone through 4 basic rounds of mindfulness practice by making the body the basis of our mindfulness. So every day, we can spend 5 to 15 minutes practicing the presence of bare attention by going from our skull to our toes, understanding and recognizing the presence of our skin. Skin and only skin, not from a biological perspective or physiological or philosophical perspective. None of the above. Simply realizing that they're present. So we go from head to toe and from toe to head, recognizing the presence of skin. And then through the presence of our flesh and our bones, we can go through these simple rounds to help us establish a basis of mindfulness, to help us focus and be aware of our connectedness with the rest of the world. I hope this is of good reference for your future practices. Now let us slowly open our eyes to end this short moment of practice. Thank you. Okay, so today I bring you another story from the collection of Bodhi Light Tales. Today is the story of Sandalwood, which is number 83 on the Bodhi Light Tales page. We went to poop last time. Today, let's move on to something more fragrant. It's about how we enable our inner Buddha nature and our true value of life to shine and emit its fragrance. So in the previous 3 weeks, the stories covered the first part of the word bodhisattva, which is sattva. That is, how do we stay alive? How do we live as a sentient being by being comfortable with who we are before we progress into the stage of Bodhi, which is awakening? And now, today and next week, we will spend a bit of time exploring the other part of the word bodhisattva, which is Bodhi. So how do we enable that sentient presence within us to awaken and move closer to the path of Buddhahood? So the story on Sandalwood will share with us and remind us of the importance of understanding the pitfalls of undervaluing our high quality goods and value through the upaic skills to effectively communicate and achieve beneficial outcomes. So let us dive in. In the story of the Sandalwood, there was a merchant called Cody who took great pride in the quality of his sandalwood and worked hard to promote it. So one day he was in the market, calling out to people, "Quality sandalwood for sale. Come in and have a look," he called out to passers-by. Despite the enticing fragrance of his sandalwood, people were put off by the high price and left without buying. After a week with no sales, Cody began to worry. Excuse me. One morning, Cody met another merchant named Roy who sold charcoal. Roy remarked how amazing Cody's sandalwood smelled, unlike his own charcoal. But Cody lamented that he hadn't sold any sandalwood that week. Their conversation was interrupted by a customer wanting to buy charcoal from Roy. By noon, Roy had sold out all his charcoal. In disbelief, Cody asked Roy why his charcoal was selling better than his sandalwood. Roy explained that charcoal was cheap and needed by every household, while his charcoal was also priced fairly. That evening, Cody thought about what Roy said and came up with an idea. The next day, he decided to sell his sandalwood at the same price as Roy's charcoal. Soon, people began queuing up to buy it, and before noon, Cody had sold out. Happily, Cody thanked Roy for the tip, telling him that he had sold all his sandalwood before noon. As Cody left, Roy smiled smugly, thinking how foolish Cody was for selling high-quality sandalwood at such a ridiculously cheap price. And the story highlights an important reminder. That is, the value and use of something we own or have depends on how we perceive and utilize it. Cody was too focused on selling all of his sandalwood and failed to recognize its true value. By lowering the price to match that of charcoal, he essentially sold gold for the price of copper. Though he sold all of his sandalwood, he likely did not make even profit to break even. Instead, Cody could have considered another approach, such as selling his sandalwood at a different market where customers could afford his original price. If he had realized the true value of his sandalwood and how to market it effectively, he would not have compared it to Roy's charcoal. In essence, if you know how to best utilize something, it becomes valuable and precious. However, if given to someone who doesn't know its worth, even precious items like stones or pearls will become wasted. Similarly, if a person with the right talent is placed in the right position, it benefits everyone. But if that person is undermined or unappreciated, their potential goes to waste. As I look at this story, I'm reminded of the growth of the Sangha community at Foguangshan. I would say anyone who had an opportunity to work directly under Venerable Master Xing Yun's guidance or work in order to complete his instructions, we were all very surprised by the kind of tasks and roles we were given. For example, there was a young bhiksu who graduated from postgrad school of sports science. And so he served as a sports teacher for a couple of years before becoming a monastic. And then when he arrived at Foguangshan and graduated from the Buddhist college, Venerable Master told him to do something totally out of his expectations. He thought he would become a teacher. But Venerable Master said, okay, we're building a road. Go pave that road. Speak to the construction managers. Talk about how to buy material and get permits. So he thought, but this is not my profession. Why are you asking me to do something that is out of my field? If you use me as a teacher, I would actually work better. Venerable Master did not say a second word. He says, just go. I need that road completed in 2 weeks. So at first he struggled. He had no idea how to talk to the constructors. He had no idea how to talk to the material providers. And he had no idea about the regulations of building. So at first, he had a lot of quarrels with them, and he struggled so much thinking that he was in the wrong place. And so this kind of went on for 2 years. He went on to complete the road, nevertheless, because he believed in his teacher. And after the task of the road, he was then given the task to build one of the buildings inside the Buddha Museum. A center that contained a gallery, also a dining hall, and also a place for classes. And still he struggled and wondered why Venerable Master would use talent in the wrong way. But nevertheless, he complied. So he went on to complete many more buildings, including the Sutra Repository. And 10 years later, he now looks after the construction projects of almost every Foguangshan temple around the world. This week, he will be in Japan for a new building in Japan. Next week, he will be in San Francisco, thinking about how to build a 7-story building next to a church. Then another week, he would be in Queensland, looking at how do we restore and maintain a traditional Chinese-style palace building by making sure the builders and the materials are present. But to this day, he does it with ease because of his experiences. And people look up to him as the construction master at Foguangshan. So he said he finally understood. He finally understood that in many cases, when a teacher sees the potential of his student, the student may not comply. But as time goes by, he found a way to allow that never discovered talent to shine, based on the belief that, yes, he can do it. And so as we look back to the story of Sandalwood, it's exactly the same. I wonder if Venerable Master saw Roy and Cody. would he have actually elevated the value of charcoal and bring out the true potential of sandalwood? And maybe we are all of this. We all grew up to be small, medium-sized, and large trees. And at the end of the day, it's actually a touch of Dharma and wisdom coming from our teachers, such as the Buddha or Venerable Master Xing Yun or your chosen teacher, that will enable our Buddha nature to shine. A kind of Buddha nature that is not restricted by our own perceptions. Thinking, I'm Asian, I'm Australian, I'm a teacher, I'm a scientist, I'm a philosopher, and I can't do anything else. If we turn the cannot into a can, maybe in this case, we bring out our true value and we will, through upaic methods, allow this true value to play to its full strength under the right conditions that we generate. So this is the story I share with you, and I hope that we will all be able to see our true value and hidden values and have no doubt about that hidden value and give us a chance to rise beyond our limitations and break out of our shells and see a whole new world through the guidance of Dharma based on the teachings of wisdom and shunyata. So thank you very much for listening. This is my story of the week.
Well, thank you, Venerable Miao Guang, for sharing us with this story. And I think this story, to me, highlights the importance of recognizing the true value and the proper use of everything around us, whether it be objects, talents, or even ourselves. So in the breakout room discussion, we'd like to invite everyone to discuss the following two questions. The first is, think about a time in your life when you felt undervalued or even when you undervalued something important. How did this perspective affect your decisions and outcomes? And second is, what did you learn from that experience and how might you apply those lessons to better recognize and utilize the value of people or things in your life today? So now we will be placed in groups of 3 to 4 to share and discuss. In the discussion, we recommend you spend some time getting to know each other and then discussing our questions. There will be some Zoom notifications to guide you, but feel free to let the flow of your discussions guide you. Our sessions are guided by metta, which is unconditional love and kindness for all sentient beings. Let's use this breakout session to express and receive loving kindness to and from one another, and take time to pause, share, and listen. We'll also ask you to share some of your findings with the larger group at the end of the breakout room discussion. So now let's go to our breakout room for rich and nourishing discussions. See you all back in 15 minutes. As we just have a very splendid discussion, breakout room discussion in our rooms, but maybe I can first close the session and then I can't wait to our plenary discussion later. So feel free to leave your comments in the chat box so our poster team can design the poster later. We really hope the check-in session was helpful to you, and we hope you experienced the unconditional love and compassion of this community. But for anyone who might be experiencing a greater need than what today could meet, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. And you can also reach out to the professional organizations on the screen. And next week, Venerable Miao Guang will continue join us online and share with us the wisdom from the Bodhi Light Tales. That will be the last session of her sharing. So if you have time, please come and join us. As we check out today, let's recite the dedication of merits together to send love and compassion to whoever is in need.
Let us now dedicate the goodness of what you have done to all living beings. May kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity pervade all worlds. May we cherish and build affinities to benefit all beings. May Chan, Pure Land, and precepts inspire equality and patience. May our gratitude and humility give rise to great vows.
Okay, thank you, Venerable Miao Guang, for your time and generous sharing with us today. And thank you, Lai Ching, for being our IT master behind the scenes. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Now we will have our Euro plenary session, so please stay around if you have time. Otherwise, see you all again next Sunday at 11 a.m.